Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. Right now I'm doing a sample of my twin flame inquiry reading. It's $45, and for the purposes of this sample I'm going to be tapping into Libra energy just to narrow the field a little bit. Libra, of course, being the sister sign to Gemini, which we're currently in. So the themes are going to be similar. So if you're not Libra or you don't have planets in Libra, you might still be experiencing some of this energy. And because this is a twin flame reading, it might not be for everybody, but you're free to watch because it might still have information that's relevant to you. You could consider it as being your masculine side and your feminine side and what's blocking them from having some kind of balance. I'm gonna have to excuse the air conditioner sound in the background. It's hot as balls here, and I need something to keep me from, and the camera from, overheating while trying to get this out in a timely fashion. I mean, this isn't like timed, but if I wait forever, I'm never going to get all my readings samples redone, so I can redo that infomercial video and get everything set up for the for my channel to shed its skin, let's put it that way. So this is a twin flame inquiry reading. It's $45, and again, the sample is using Libra. So the decks that I'm using right now, this reading has 60 cards. Every pile has the same number of cards, which is one card from 5 different decks. So it's all balanced out. It's not like my pick a pile readings where it's just kind of randomized from a stack of decks. So I'm using the Lover's Oracle here because that seemed to make sense here. I'm using my Twin Flame deck, which is a Pinnacle deck. Each set is labeled DF or DM, depending. I'm using the Cairo Marchetti Legacy of the Divine Tarot. I'm using the Work Your Light Oracle and the Radley Valentine Angel Tarot deck. I have an older one because I got it on eBay, so it still says Doreen Virtue on the box, but that's the one you want if you want that deck. Okay. Where am I at? Did I say all the decks? Yes, I did. Alright. So, in my twin flame, I know this is sideways for the camera, but I will be holding the cards up to roughly where I have it focused, or at about the way that these cards work is this grid that I have here. This stack is the masculine. This stack is the feminine. This stack is the karmic, which could either be another person or some kind of object or work or emotional hang-up. In the reading of this spread, whatever this is personified and has its own perspective, like a little poltergeist. Okay? So the masculine, the feminine, and the karmic. This is how the karmic feels about the masculine. This is how the masculine feels about the karmic. This is how the karmic feels about the feminine. This how the feminine feels about the karmic. Right? This is how the karmic feels about the twin flame union. Right? Here's how the feminine feels about the masculine. And here's how the masculine feels about the feminine. This is how the feminine feels about the twin flame union, and this is how the masculine feels about the twin flame union. Sometimes I even get confused, but we'll just deal with it when we get there. Alright, so let's start off with the masculine. Let's see what we've got here. King of Wands with the DF on it, inverted. Okay. So and I'll explain that better in a second. King of Wands is Cancer and Leo with air of fire. Okay, so we've got this sort of summery energy. We've got solar and lunar energy, actually, which makes sense because the King of Wands would, in theory, be the masculine, and then the feminine would be the moon. And so it's sort of like an eclipse. But here I would see it as the masculine is eclipsing the feminine energy. He's in Hanged Man energy, which is water, or Neptune, which rules Pisces. Now the moon is also ruled by Pisces, the moon card. And then the moon rules Cancer. So he's thinking about the feminine, and he's somewhat in his feelings, and he's a little bit hung up, which is probably why the king is coming in inverted, because he's off balance. Now the king can be a 1 or a 14, which breaks down to 5. The hangman being 12 breaks down to a 3. So I see potentially a completion, and then the masculine, and then the feminine is the emperor, empress. But we also have 5 and 3, which is 8, which is either justice or strength. And if we already have Leo energy, I would suggest that he's trying to get strength up, because he's a little bit off in his feelings about the feminine, and he's feeling like his sword is limp. Let's put it that way. Secret admirer. Someone has deeper feelings for you than they are letting on. So here's the picture. The masculine's trying to open his I just said shart. He's trying to oh my god. Oh my god. And it's 11 minutes too. Oh, I can't. He might have some digestive issues if his solar plexus is not in alignment. He's trying to open his heart chakra because he's in his feelings about the feminine, right? They're all the way down in there. He's trying to get in there with like a rope and a harness. He's spelunking. He's dangling off a chain over the river of slime. And apparently it's bubbling at him. Okay, that's still funny. That is terrible. The Shartakra, okay. So we have leap inverted, which means there's a delay or confusion. Okay. It says, you go first, the universe will catch you. We have the moon here with the feminine figure. So this is like the Fool. And he wants to go towards the feminine, but he's not sure if he breaks off of his thing here, if there's going to be a net under him. And the Fool is air energy, which is Uranus, which I believe rules Mercury. I mean, not Mercury, goddammit. Aquarius. Yeah, it rules Aquarius, which has to do with communication and innovations. Still laughing about that thing in my head. Okay. So the other card here is the Knight of Air, which is inverted. Intelligent, decisive, idealistic, tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options. Creative solutions. Alright, so Knight of Air. Meow, 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 meow. Taurus and Gemini and the Fire of Air. Okay. So, I mean, when an air card is upside down, I usually feel like it's like running aground. Like your plane crashed. So he's thinking that if he takes that giant leap for masculine kind towards the feminine, which he's clearly thinking about her, he's afraid that he's going to crash and burn. Alright. So let's see what's going on with the feminine. Alright. So she's got the Jack of Wands and also herself. So she's mirroring him a little bit, but she's at a less intense level. Now, she could also be the Hanged Man, which would all be a combination of the Hanged Man and the King here. Or she could be the Page, which would be N11, which is that twin flame number. It's sort of to be determined, but if it was Page of Wands, it would be Summer of Earth. No, Summer with Earth of Fire. And if it was the Knight, it would be Scorpio and Sagittarius with Fire of Fire. So we'll find out in a second. I feel like it's probably the Knight. And then we have the Moon. Not surprising, because she's showing up as Moon energy in the masculine's reading. So we have 18 breaking down to a 9. And I would say that this would definitely be the Knight then, because it would be 12 breaking down to a 3, with a 9 would be 12 again, which would be that hanging energy. It's like she's hanging out, waiting for something. Alright, let's see what this heart card is. Okay, I just had this when I did the pick-a-pile. And it came out with the Queen of Cups. And it had a very similar energy. It's important right now to take a step back and spend some time alone instead of placing your focus on another. Now is the time to give to yourself. So she's in here in the Moon energy. She's deep in her own feelings, working on herself, chilling out, hanging out, waiting for the next burst of flame to come out of this whole situation. Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So here she's mirroring the masculine. She's trying really hard to, keep the faith that something is going on with their relationship. She's trusting the path. He's trying to trust the universe that it's going to be all right if he moves. She's just trying to stay where she is and hold a balance. So if he leaps and she goes out and she has to catch him like a trapeze artist, she can be secure in that grip. Page of Earth inverted. Says scholarly, dependable, patient, successful. Good news about financial matters, wanting to do something more challenging, a new area of study. Okay, but it came out inverted. So it's spring with Earth of Earth energy. Right? This is leaping, this is springing. The new area of study would be essentially studying the masculine, or finding some new task to keep you busy instead of just hanging out or working on yourself. But it's all inverted. So I see 11 and I see 12 here. But I also see 1, and I see, because this could be a 1, and this could be a 1. So we have 1 and 12, 1 and 11. So we have 11, 11, And then I see 11, 12, 13. 13 being a death cycle, which is a transition, which is going deep into the darkness and bringing out that which can heal and transform. Notice how the feminine looks like an egg curled up in her own heart chakra. That's that transition phase. And like a seed that's put away in the winter for the summer, and only in the spring will that seed start growing again, and she'll be able to expand her knowledge and learning and all that. So it's like a moment in time, just to pause and regroup and start building up energy, like a coiled spring. It's compressing, but it's not necessarily for resistance. It's like she's on a trapeze, and she's being pulled back, and she's being held at the top of the platform, so that when the masculine leaps, she knows she has to kick off with her feet and come and grab him. Okay? Now, let's look at the karmic to see what's blocking them. And again, this could be a person. Now, it could be a karmic for the feminine, or it could be a karmic for the masculine. You'll know for your situation, but let's see what we've got here. So we have the Ten of Wands in relation to the DM. So right away, it looks like this is a karmic related to the divine masculine. And I see Ten of Wands in reverse, so it's almost like possession or obsession, right? I'm overwhelmed with passion for you. I'm going to overload you with my desires and passions. Although if it were the feminine's karmic, it would be the masculine is pissing me off. Like, get out of here. Ten of Wands is Saturn in Sagittarius. Now, I could also see this energy coming in as related to the Two of Pentacles, because that's Jupiter in Capricorn, which is the exact planet, the opposite planet and sign to this. Like ruling planets versus astrology. So it's like overwhelming the masculine with a decision to choose between the karmic or the feminine. And we have the Three of Swords. Inverted, though. I can heal all your problems. But can you? Because healing the masculine's problems with the karmic is causing a lot of heartbreak. If he takes it. Or, well, no, that's not what I meant. 13 would be a death cycle. It would be like if he God damn it. Having a hard time talking, I'm like stuttering. What I meant to say is that if the masculine is fooled by the karmic saying, I can unbreak your heart, I can turn that frown upside down, you'll forget all about your pain with me, with all this heat behind it. Three of Swords, Saturn in Libra. Right? So we have a lot of really heavy pressure with Saturn. I'll even the playing field, I'll make you feel better, but it's 13, that's death. Like, you're killing me, Smalls. Like, it might feel alright for a while, but it's gonna rot you from the inside out. So this heart card here, see, this is the karmic. They're like, no, I'll be your feminine. I'll make you stop crying. Just sort of like in this possessive mode. And notice that she's actually in another dimension. Well, because it looks like a feminine here, but the karmic is actually in a wholly other dimension, in this sort of dark, shadowy place. And the masculine's actually existing in this light space, with the balance with his feminine hanging over his head, And this dark circle here is really dark because the karmic isn't going to fulfill that explosion of the light. So it says balance. Love is not always about agreeing just for the sake of it. A great relationship is one that both supports and challenges, right? So if the karmic is going to say like, oh, I'll cure all your ills, I'll make you forget about all your problems, that's not balance, because then he'll never be challenged. He'll just be sedated. Pliant. Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, and teacher. Okay. Now in this, I see this more as being seductive and distracting. Right? Beauty and devotion. Like, I'll be beautiful. I'll be devoted to you. I'll worship you. I'll teach you. You know, it's like, I'll teach you what love is, but they're not going to teach the masculine love. They're going to teach them possession. So it might not be what he wants to learn. It's a double-edged sword. Like all these 3 double-edged swords. 9 of Earth. Enjoying life's little luxuries. Spending quiet time alone. Successful self-employment. Now usually this comes out as the single ladies card. I believe this is Mercury in Virgo, but I have to check. Yeah, no. Venus in Virgo. Okay, Venus in Virgo. This is because Venus is, I think Virgo is ruled by Mercury. I think that's what my problem is. Yeah. So the karmic is telling the masculine, you know, I am the priestess. I'm the empress. And I see it as like a false priestess even being too like the high priestess. But it's like an emergency 911 call, because you're gonna end up looking dead on a stretcher if you let this one sink their teeth into you. Metaphorically, although perhaps realistically, depending on what kind of karma is going on here. But the point is that we have a communication, mercurial energy, although mercurial can also be duplicitous, which is what a karmic might end up being if it's going to be a hard lesson for the masculine. It says, enjoying life's little luxuries, right? Love and sex and sex and sex and sex, like that Rolling Stones song. Still surviving on the scene there, but he'll end up shattered. Okay. So spending quiet time alone and successful self-employment listed here, I think it's almost like they won't leave the masculine alone, and they're having success in drawing him into the work that they want him to do. Now, if this karmic is a job, then it's like emotionally digging its claws into the masculine in a way, which might have to do with self-employment. But in general, in terms of the basic concept of it being another person sleazing on him, on the masculine, this would be a low vibrational empress. So it's not really the empress like the feminine would be, because we're only in 9 of a suit. We're not at 3 of a major. So even though it'd normally be like all the single ladies, it's someone who's sort of like in the summer of life, going about like, I am the queen of this area. Meanwhile, not having the maturity to have gone through winter and come out into another growing season like the Empress would. Alright, so we've looked at these. So let's see how the feminine... No. Yeah, I want to see how the karmic feels about the feminine first. That's what I want to do. Sometimes I read them in different orders depending, but... Okay, so this is a spare card that came with this deck. So I have Temperance, and the opposite of it is the Eight of Wands, looking kind of like a carrot. Now, in that way, it's like, I'm going to sort you out and block you from moving. Like, you don't need to talk to him. I've got everything under control. Six of Swords inverted. To point out that this is fire with Sagittarius energy, and the 8 is Mercury in Sagittarius, so that would follow. Six of Swords. Mercury in Aquarius. Now usually it's going away from what doesn't serve you, but here it's like being submerged into the underworld. Notice how she's giving 3 inverted swords to the masculine. Did I just say she? The Karmic is giving 3 inverted swords to the masculine, but 6 inverted swords to the feminine. So it's almost like double dealing. Underhanded. Like, you can, like, go over there and don't come out. Because to me, this card inverted is sailing under into the darkness, into the underworld, into Hades. Like, was it Orpheus that tried to get his wife? So she's giving there could be death handed to the masculine if he takes the cake, so to speak. But for the feminine, it's like blocking and death in another way. It's like, I'm just going to put you in the dungeon and keep you from communicating or taking action. Now this is sort of like, reminds me of this card. Like, I'm the queen of this area, I control what grows here. Look at all these hearts flopping around all over the place. But it's like, this is the Eye of Horus. It's like, I see it as you, like, comeuppance is in order, even though they're not really seeing it right now. Because it's also, because the eye can be cut into fractions. Like, the Karmic is grandstanding, but deep down in the root understands that she doesn't, I keep saying she, the Karmic understands that they don't have a fraction of the real power that the feminine has, so they can't really dispatch her. They can just send her into the dungeon and turn her away at the door. And you can see all these hearts just kind of tossed around. So this card actually says time. You are trying too hard, give it time. And it's almost like the Karmic's attitude towards the feminine is, don't even try to come over here. You'll see in time that he really wants me. Like nobody has time for you. Go away. Council of Light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. Okay. So what the... Again, I feel like this is more like stuff that the Karmic isn't really seeing about the feminine. Like, the universe is setting up to backstab the Karmic, while the Karmic is being all like he's He's my man. Get out of my face. Like, I will throw down. And the universe is like, wait up a second, because it says helpers in the subtle realms, but I see this underground dungeon area as a place where the feminine can thrive, right? She's a seed buried in the ground in all this dark moon energy, and this has a lot of water in it. And she doesn't know that, you know, it's like the feminine was raised on blackroot, like in Willow. So we have 2 of fire. This is about decisions, right? This person is like the karmic gloating that they're winning, and the feminine, and then the masculine's over here, like completely looking away, like he knows there's something more in the future. And this dragon is like, you smell funny. The universe, like, you might think you're winning, but I'm about to chomp your neck. So I hope that makes sense, because I'm having a hard time talking. 2 of fire. Mars in Aries. So that's like war and strategy. Like, the karmic literally thinks they're winning, and they're failing to see that there's the other reality is unlocking, because there's a timing involved. Like, the karmic is looking at the feminine like the feminine is already lost out and they've won and there's no point in even trying. They don't realize that the karmic has an expiration date in this situation. I need some water. Now, because this reading is in general, for the Libra collective, we can see that there's a lot going on regarding balancing and also fairness, which is also where that fraction, that comeuppance comes from, is that justice, which is Libra, which in most, not in this deck, but in most of the decks that I have, Libra is 11, which is the twin flame number. Okay, so let's see how the feminine feels about the karmic. So the feminine is upright in the Page of Earth energy, even though in her own space she was inverted. Now, this could be the Knight, because it would overcome that inversion. But I think, also because I just said Libra, I think this is the Page. Spring with Earth and Earth. So it's already like the feminine is saying, you think you put me in the ground and I'm not coming back, but I've got something for you. I'm busting out in the spring. And that doesn't have to be literally like next year in the spring. It can be metaphorically, like you don't even know. Like, I'm busting out of ground and I've got I've got 2 dwarfs from the mines of Moriah backing me up, and we're gonna kick your ass. Something like that. Don't literally kick somebody's ass though. It's an like a imagery for the amount of force. The wheel, right? The worm is turned. So we have 10-11 right away. And we have Jupiter energy here. It's heating up. Go from spring to like Jupiter, which would be summer, and it's also fire. Then this card is fire. Jupiter energy. Rolling on a river. Okay, now here is some more fire, right? Solar energy here. Kind of reminds me of that like Clint painting that's really yellowy and has the people in it. You know, probably don't know what I'm talking about. If you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind, for the heart is the gateway to the soul. So we'll put a pin in that for a second. Inner temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. Okay. So here's this sun shining. I don't remember what that's called, but when there's like a ring and then a cross shape, it's some kind of special solar event that I don't remember what's called. So we have the solar plexus, and then we have this portal into the heart chakra where all of this divining about what you really want and need is going to happen. And we have a duality here, right? This is kind of like the high priestess or the twins themselves. That, like, you and your twin exist in your heart. The sort of like temple of your soul is guarded by the love that you two share. All right. Seven of fire inverted. Mars in Leo. So it says, defend your beliefs and decisions, stand your ground, choose your battles wisely. Here, it's like the feminine is choosing not to go head to head in a all-out battle with the karmic, because she knows in her heart that her and the masculine exist together. They're united in the heart space, even if not in the physical. So all she has to do is go into this higher realm, this dream world, and she's sort of transported like a Stargate into a space where they're united. It's almost like this whole yellow field is the masculine, and she's just kind of rolling around in it. She knows that when like luck shines upon them and the wheel starts moving, that the karmic's gonna fall right off the bottom of it. And then it's like spring, it's like boing, just kidding, get out of here. It's like an ejector seat for the karmic. So the feminine, even though she's kind of hanging out in her own space and a little bit you know, a little bit emotionally in the dark and possibly a little unsure, she still has this certainty that the karmic is getting the hell out of her way, and that her masculine is always there, attached to her and part of her. Okay. So let's see how the karmic feels about the masculine. Okay, so we have the masculine in the upright with the 10 of Pentacles. Karmic might be a little bit of a gold digger. Okay, this one is the one that's Mercury in Virgo. I'm not feeling any sense of planetary nature with that, but the karmic knows that the masculine's got 10 pentacles and they want it. That is possession again. But also probably gold digging. I ain't saying she's wrong. Okay, so here we have 11 right away. Now, although the ace is inverted, so the karmic is going to probably going to be lying through their teeth to get what they want. Winter and air. Frosty. Alright. This card. This character is either sweating or crying. It's an angel. And they could... They're sort of androgynous. I think they're crying. The angels wept. Acceptance is the key to inner peace. At times we must accept things as they are. There's no point trying to change that which is beyond our control. Okay, this coming out with this inverted truth, it's like the karmic thinks they can control the masculine. but the universe is gonna hand them their own ass. Soul family inverted. Calling your soul tribe, you don't have to do it alone. So here, the karmic does not want the masculine to get advice or information from his friends and family. They want to occupy his mind entirely. The Lover's inverted. And also see a tower here. And a night without any stars. No movement. So the truth is that the karmic is not the masculine's ultimate lover. But they're not going to accept that because they want what they want over everyone's objections, including the universe. They see a good deal and they want it. But they don't love the masculine. It's like another notch in their bedpost. Okay. So let's look at the masculine's feelings about the karmic. How do they feel about this not an empress over here? So we have 9 of Cups inverted. I know that this heart is upright, but the way that I've written, it's inverted. So this ultimately not happy. Discontent. Malcontent. The World. Okay, so this is Saturn energy. And I see that as having to do with chronology in time, especially because this card has not only an hourglass, but the zodiacal signs on it. Capricorn energy. 9 of Cups. Jupiter and Pisces. Okay. This is like... it's like the Reanimator. I kind of feel like the masculine knows that being with the karmic is like being with a zombie. You know, it's like trying to stimulate this sort of fire and passion, and the karmic's just like, Healing. Imagine yourself and your beloved surrounded by light. Feel your relationship being healed at this very moment. In that sense, this discontent is making the masculine think about what it would be like to heal what's going on with his actual feminine. The ever unfolding rose, cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. Okay, so the masculine is feeling really beaten down by the karmic. His inner temple is crumbling, and he feels wounded in his heart. So 21 in Roman numerals breaks down to a 3. 3 and 9 is 12. That's that hanged man energy again. Like, the world has stopped, and he's getting this, like, like it's like he's moving through a world where everything is frozen, and he's sort of walking around and he sees what's really going on behind the front that the karmic's putting up. So he's starting to catch on to the bullshit over here. So we have the sun again, and he just got this illumination. So we have 19, Archangel Uriel. Happy outcome, brilliant new ideas that lead to success. Have confidence in yourself. I think there was an idea of success over here on something. I don't remember what the hell it was. I don't remember. Successful self-employment. But here it's just success and confidence in yourself. And I think the sun here, relating to the world, makes a lot of sense for me because they're so close together in the stack. It's like the only difference between these is the High Priestess, which is that intuition, and that this card here, the Feminine's Inner Temple, because 2 is the High Priestess. So he's really starting to catch the scent, let's say. Okay. So I want to see how the feminine feels about the masculine. So we have the Ace of Swords inverted, related to the masculine. And I kind of feel like the feminine is picking up on what he's getting. Like, she can see that he's being fed BS and is worried that he's accepting what he's being fed. Now notice in this that there's a feminine inside. Like, she knows that the truth is that he should be with her, but she's worried that he's taking this fake truth that the karmic's giving him. The Lovers. Ah, there we go. That's how the feminine feels about the masculine. They are twin flames and they belong together. And this arrow coming down is like the Sagittarius arrow that keeps getting flung in by the universe from these other cards. There's the Kundalini here. And this little tree, this cute little tree, is like this, the seed that the feminine's trying to grow over here. She sees that she can grow emotionally with the masculine as well. And then these would be the Chariot if that was going the right way. Oh my god, look at this. So here they are here, and here they are here. And the feminine thinks, soulmate, your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this and they will manifest physically. Okay? So when she thinks about the karmic, she's like, I know he's supposed to be with me. And then when she thinks about the masculine, she's like, oh, but it's like he's instead of being this like gelatinous field, can now see him as being there in this, like this step, and then the next one. Oh my god! My nose is itchy. Okay, so this came out inverted, but just means there's confusion or a delay. So here I'd say there's a little bit of a delay. Lemuria, creating heaven on earth, it's happening, right? So it's going to happen. She knows that it's going to happen. It's like, ooh, it's on now, bitch. Alright, and also, 9 of Air inverted. Okay. Now, this is the Nightmares card. Literally nightmares, because there's a bunch of unicorns on it. Expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecies, and sleepless nights. So this nightmare of hoping that he doesn't pick up on the bullshit from the karmic is coming to an end. And what do we have but 10 inverted swords? Right? 10 swords is like all of the knives in the back. And here she's letting go of the pain, and she knows that it's going to happen. She's starting to really believe in the manifestation of her masculine, in the physical world, right? She's been working on it. This is physical world with 11 on it. Not quite there yet, but she's getting there. Okay. So let's see what the masculine thinks about the feminine. She makes him the King of Swords. He's in his power, his mind is clear, and he feels the truth when he thinks about her. Capricorn and Aquarius with air and air, so there's more Saturnine energy, and there's something going on with perception and communication. Faith, 5. So this is the Hierophant in this deck. He has faith in their union, in their relationship. This can also be like marriage, and some people say there's usually like two people standing before the Pope because they're going to get married. And in this deck, this card is called Unity. This is Taurian energy, so that's like hedonism. It's trying to bring it into the real world. And we also have, if it's Taurus, then it's Venus, which gives a nod to the Empress as well. Alright? It's like he thinks he can trust this union, and he wants to, like, solidify it. Oh, look at that. It's like he can feel from his side in his heart chakra, he can feel the feminine coming up to him. But he sees it, he sees her in this energy. And he's like petrified wood, but his heart is radiating out for her. And look at this like beam of incoming knowledge from the higher realm is like locking itself around him in his heart, and he's like, his shell is starting to soften, and he can hear the feminine out there. Close your eyes and tell yourself that you deserve to feel joyful. You can allow joy into your life regardless of the circumstances you currently find yourself in. So he's currently unhappy, trying to figure out how to get off of the karmic, and he's starting to understand that he can have this. This is the truth. He needs to have faith in himself that he's allowed to have it. No matter what anybody else is putting in his ear. So it says starseed, what lights you up? And we have Jupiter and Saturn here. So we have that fiery Jupiter energy that was floating around in here. That hot energy with that Sagittarian Cupid arrow coming in, and then Saturn with all this Capricornian energy telling you to go deep into your feelings and really work on what you need to get all this garbage out of the ocean. And we have a feminine figure here, right? So when he thinks about the world and what he wants in it, and he looks out into his ocean, into his night sky, he sees the feminine sitting there, and he's happy that she's in his world. Almost got a little misty there for a second. Got me right in my feels. Okay. 8 of Earth. Look at this. 8 and 11. Depending on the deck, 8 and 11 can be strength or justice. And I see these as directly related. The fact that they're both upside down is also interesting. We also have 9. These can be 9 together if this is a 1. And I see that as related to this 9 of Cups over here that was inverted, the unhappiness. Because, and where was the, oh, here we go. Here's this 9. So it's like, we don't want this 9 over here, this fake Empress bullshit. We want 9, 1 and 9. Maybe I hit the camera. That's still in focus. Kind of. We want 9 that's fulfilling and grounded in really deep underground. Now for this card, it says skilled work is rewarded, learning all there is to know about a topic, going back to school. So it's like, instead of trying to figure out what the hell's going on, it's like, ding, oh, I've had great spontaneous knowledge, all that cramming I did, and I passed the exam. Okay. So that's how he feels about the feminine. He's like, I've learned all I need to know about this situation. I want you in my life. Hands feel gross because it's hot. Okay. So, how does the karmic feel about this twin flame union? And I'm going to get some water. It was a good stopping point because I had to change the battery again. Okay. Okay, so how does the karmic feel about the union? Wow. They know that the feminine is the true feminine in this union. Deep in their cold little heart. And they are the temptress. And again, we have Saturnian energy here because this is ruled by Capricorn. Right? Normally I play off the devil. I'm like, yeah, it's not that bad. But here, this is the karmic. They're trying to chain the masculine. They know their time's gonna run out. And we have a tower moment here. Their world is about to crumble. So here is... No, see, for me, this image, it looks like a decapitated head. And an angel holding on. And it's almost like... It reminds me of when the androids get effed up in the Aliens movies. And they just like a head that's talking. So, for this situation, I see this as the karmic isn't a full person with the masculine. They can't fill this whole place. You can see there's a gap right where the heart chakra joins in. And they're not reaching it. They're just distracting in their face. So it says, my beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united, for love transcends space and time, nothing is missing. Right? Because the feminine is always in there, in the masculine's space. Like right here, like this, with the feminine and the masculine together. And inside her inner temple. And the karmic understands this deep inside their little black heart. Get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. Right? It's like the only way that the karmic is going to be able to have anything remotely like that is if they take this energy that they're trying to present and actually ground it. I mean, if they're in devil energy anyway, they may as well anchor some earth energy. 10 of fire. Too much work. Accept help from others. Life is out of balance. Stress-related health concerns. So the karmic's actually making themselves ill by trying to outshine this natural relationship. It's like, if there's too much heat, get out of the kitchen. Right? And the karmic just burnt their cookies. The cookies are the gateway to the dark side. Ha ha! Okay, I'm done. King of Cups. But it's inverted related to the feminine. Now this, I didn't even say that. This is how the feminine feels about the union. So we have the King of Cups inverted related to the feminine. King of Cups. So we have Libra and Scorpio with air and water. Now, I know that this is inverted, and we have Libra, which this is supposed to be drawing from the Libra energy from the collective for the purposes of this sample. But I see Scorpio and I see an inverted card. What I see really is more like energy that's going into darkness to clear it out, like with this moon energy that the feminine has. But I also get the sense that she's realizing that she's not the leader of this relationship, right? And I've heard at least one reader say that you don't want two kings in the castle, right? But I think there's supposedly there was like in the Chinese characters, the symbol for strife was two women with one house, and it's like a similar idea. You don't want two of the same energies occupying the same space. The feminine doesn't need to be the King of Cups. She should be in the Queen of Cups energy. She doesn't have to lead this union, and she's starting to understand that. Nine of Pentacles inverted. Now I do see this as that 9 that I said was coming from these other two cards, right? I'm not the false empress, but in this case I see this, right? This is all the single ladies. This is, you're not single anymore, honey. Honey. Oh, look, now she's kissing the tree. Aww. The hell was that other card? Was it a word? Wait, where the hell was that? There it is. Now she's kissing the tree. And notice how it's like, it's almost, the tree looks less stiff here. Right? There's more space and there's wind blowing around. It's like highly activating. It's like, oh, can you hear me? And now it's like, oh, I know he can hear me. I know he's in there. I love you. Give thanks for the blessings of love soon to come your way. Know that you deserve to be and have all that your heart truly desires. Right? She knows he's coming. She's not the one responsible to keep this relationship going. And we do have a pivot here, which means she's shifting into this energy and knows that, you know, she's done the work to grow herself and meet him and stay in the place until he's there, right? Because if you want, it's like she's waited for the tree to grow. The seed that she was actually growing like him into her own world in some way. That makes sense. Okay. So this is the no card and it's inverted. This reminds me of the 9 of Wands in the Syrian Starseed Tarot. There's a guy there. He says, waiting, guarding the pyramid forever. Okay. And this, to me, is the Chariot tracks, like a train tracks, even though it's like stairs. And the High Priestess Tower here, broken. When the no card is inverted, I see it as on. It's on. We have this zip line thing coming down in here where like it's like those people in movies that walk away from explosions, but now we're doing it cool. We're doing it on a zip line, right? It's on, it's going, it's moving, it's gonna happen. The moon, Archangel Haniel. Important psychic insights, events behind the scenes. Release fears that hold you back, right? So she knows it's on. She was over here in the moon. She was kind of sad, but she knows that it's coming in, and now this moon card is giving her what she needs. She knows that it's, that she can let go of fear. Now, there was that, where the hell was that 9, right? The 9 of Coins is one of my dream cards, right? 9 of Swords, 9 of Wands are like nightmare cards. And it's, if the moon is related to dreams and nightmares and stuff like that, this is like these cards being either dreams or nightmares make up the half of the moon. Right? So here, it could also be considered, oh, it's been a nightmare on my own, but I also see it as this dream is moving into the real world, because this is a physical card. And again, it goes from single ladies to not single anymore, and the moon card shifts from the dark phase to the bright phase. Right? We have a waxing moon now. Alright, so let's see how the masculine feels about the union, and then we'll get the hell out of here. Okay, he has the other... Oh my god. Oh my god. He has the other bonus card that I made. So the underside is Judgment, and I did sense Judgment over here somehow. There was a 9, and there's 11, and there was an idea of Judgment in here somewhere, even though I didn't say it. So just believe me, there's 9s and 11s in here somewhere. I'm not going to dig them out. But that would bring Judgment. Judgment is that, like, final, like, not just justice, judgment. You're out, you're in. The universe has ruled in your favor. You're fulfilling your life's purpose. And in the card, it's usually a masculine, a feminine, and a little kid. Doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to have kids, but the little kid is like the union is growing. Okay? So we do have this idea of Judgment. But what's up here on this card is ludicrous speed. He wants union fast. He's gone plaid. Let me hold that up. It's a really bad sketch of plaid. These two cards, I was only supposed to get one of these cards, but they came out together. So I have 10, and then I have 2. High Priestess inverted, and then 10. And again, like I said, I only wanted one card for that pile, but they came out together. But 10 of Cups is, like, ideal, and I'm not quite sure why the High Priestess is here. Unless it's relating to the moon, and is saying... It's like he didn't think it was possible to see it coming. But he's gonna make it happen. Put this over here. So we have the moon card ruled by Pisces, and then we have Mars in Pisces, which is strategy and planning. And like a first assault, and his first assault to the feminine in regard to union is like turbo that son of a bitch, and then happiness, contentment. Oh, the tree, look at the tree, it's all decorated now and has a big heart on it. Aw, and then the yin yang and infinity. And the star, which is Aquarius, which is Uranus, which has to do with like innovations and new ways of communicating. That's so cute. Oh, look at this little friggin' film strip here. This tree is glowing now. And look at all this bountiful stuff on the trunk. That is amazing. It's amazing. Okay. Manifesting miracles. Your dream, what I said about dreams and the moon, is soon to become reality. Trust your heart and continue to follow its guidance. It's so weird. Oh. It's like the feminine is the High Priestess. And the High Priestess card is inverted in the same way that the feminine was realizing that she doesn't have to be the King of Cups. He's like, I don't have to be over here trying to, like, psychically interpret all of what's going on, right? I need to trust my heart and myself, and I'm going to make this happen. Toot sweet. The initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. And he's gonna do it fast. That's what he wants. I think this was inverted. It's the Ace of Earth. The inflow of abundance, a promising business venture, important documents or contracts. Now, the fact that I don't know if I had this up or down, I think means that it's in the challenge position, right? Now, this looks like the feminine here. And what I see is he's it's like he's not sure if she's he's like a little bit unsure if she's fully receptive, but he's coming in, he's challenging himself to look with his own eyes in the material world and like look. He doesn't want to have to guess and see like psychic see. He wants to literally see if she's there and her wings are unfurled. Okay. So it looks to me like for this twin flame sample with Libra energy that it's on. And things are, the gears are set for the clock to start ticking, that universal clock. Okay, so that is a sample of my $45 twin flame inquiry reading. And if you want to get this reading, you can email me thecatcamebackatcamp@gmail.com. It's all one word. PayPal is paypal.me/CATtheMinion. I do have Cash App and Venmo. Let me get this over here so I can put it on my shine. Camera's getting pretty hot again. Nope. I'll put this here so I can see what the hell I'm doing. Nope. Okay. So, the complete list of readings I have and how much they cost is in the description box of my infomercial video, which is going to be linked below this one. Or you could just email me and I'll get you that list. Now, also, my big list of stuff, it has the links for Cafe Press and DeviantArt. So I have prints, not just this one, other ones, on DeviantArt. I have merch on Cafe Press, like this necklace and t-shirts and aprons and lunch bags and towels and all kinds of other bullshit. I have like 12 or 13 different designs. I have coloring books. I have a poetry book. I have actual art items that you can get in my catalog, which is also linked in that description box. Or again, if you email me, I'll get you that whole sheet of links and stuff. So I've got digital portraits in there. I've got made-to-order stuff like this guy. Also, I've got actual art things like my chapbook packs, which have little bits of poetry in them in my little chapbooks. It's taken from my poetry book, although a couple of them might not actually be in here, but pieces of this, random envelopes, you know, any old envelopes. Some of them are made out of magazines. Those ones are already stuffed in a box somewhere, but I was making some out of these old drawings too, just to amuse myself. So the chapbook packs, they have the envelopes, they have the writing, and they have bits and pieces of art like that. Some of them are smaller bits. It's over here. And there's little printed cards that have some of my other images on them, like printed cards like that. So if you want to get coloring book or the other coloring book or poetry or get a chapbook pack Check out all that information. If you're still confused, just email me again there, and I'll get you all that information. Oh, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That way you can keep checking out my playlists. I got a bunch of stuff going on, and we'll see you later. Bye!